Alright, we've got 3 exercises here that we're going to look at and put these together with this in mind. We're going to look at it as starting at the beginning on alternate picking. The difficulty increases with each exercise. The first one is just to help you just really lock into that back and forth. I know you can already do that, but this way we're just going to push the back and forth with something very simple on the left hand. So right hand doesn't have to do much thinking, nor does the left hand. So the idea is this should help you reach faster speeds on your picking. So this way you have some notes to kind of keep you grounded, keep you kind of in line with where you are picking wise. So for this, 16th notes should be fine. If definitely not 32nd notes to start with. However, let's 8th notes might work better. You know, it might be okay to start with the 8th notes as well. But basically, I'm going to tap my foot and play it out like 16th notes. So real simple, and you can do 2 different fingerings for this. I'm used to writing things in the key of C for everybody that I teach, so that's what I stuck with here. But basically, you can either do it stretching your hand out that way, or you can kind of slide your hand back and forth. Just really doesn't matter at this point because it's the right hand we're concentrating on. So whatever's comfortable, as long as you get those notes. So anyway, we're going to do it 4 times and then end on the open E. So this is what it sounds like. So it's going to be important to follow a metronome this specific way. Put it on 60 beats a minute, and then every time you go through that exercise correctly, bump it up 5. No need to keep doing it over and over again if it's done correctly. The idea is to keep bumping up the speed as many times as possible until you cannot go any faster. That includes accuracy. So once you do that, so keep track of the times that you're doing. This is really good. I wish more students would do that. Even if I ask them to do it, they still don't do it. So that's a huge step up what you're doing there. So that's going to help out a lot. So this way you and I can both take a look at things and see what needs to happen next. So the next exercise, or pick and riff, whatever you want to call it, is basically using just an A minor scale, but you're going to pick each note twice. We're going to run through that 2 times and then end back on the A note twice there. So we have, in this one, because it's going to be slightly more complicated with the left hand, and we're changing strings now, it might be better to start with the 8th notes on this. But if you can get up to 240 beats per minute with the 8th notes, then go ahead and start doing the 16th notes when you're starting off at the 60 beats per minute. There we go. Sounds something like this. I'm going to play it as 8th notes. This next one is going to be, I would imagine, the most challenging one, but I put this riff together with this in mind. So you get your down, up, and then so it's kind of set up so you can stay on that alternate picking without being tempted to do any economy type picking. So anyway, I would do this. You can do 8th notes if that helps. If that helps you start off. Or the way I have it barred is triplets. And the way I like to do when I tab things out by hand is I drop bar lines to make it easier to see what the piece is. So, should sound something like this. I'll go ahead and do it triplets, eighth note triplets. I think I counted that right. I was also thinking something there. Notice my index finger, it doesn't come off. Took that last bit right there for some reason. To throw in the pinch harmonic, my finger wanted to come off just a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, one of those weird things that your subconscious will have you do. But yeah, just keeping your index finger down will help you do that riff even faster when it comes to your left hand stuff. This way you have less work to do. So it's really just your third finger and fourth finger doing the work there on your left hand. Yeah, so let's make those three just the main focus right now. Let's simplify, take it as a fresh approach. And the other thing that's going to help that is doing the fresh approach take is going to allow me to do a better evaluation of how you're growing and how you're progressing. So that's another benefit of simplifying everything that you're practicing. So this way we can pinpoint any weaknesses and identify your strengths as well. So this way we can look at exactly where the focus needs to go. And you talked about the rabbit hole of alternate picking because of working on a song, getting stuck on a part. So yes, absolutely, we can work on specific exercises targeting what is happening technique-wise in that song, and I can put things together so you can slowly progress from something fairly simple to something a bit more difficult, and eventually get to where that riff in the song is. So metronome stuff, I'm going to recommend that just simplify that as well. Just start at 60 beats a minute. And so like for the first exercise, again, if you can do eighth notes at 240 beats a minute with that exercise, if you can work it up to that, then go ahead and start doing 16th notes with beginning at 60 beats per minute. And just keep working your way up there. So I would start with eighth notes on exercise 2, and again, once you can get up to 240 beats per minute with that, using eighth notes, then start again at 60 beats per minute and do 16th notes. And then for that third exercise, if starting with triplets is comfortable, do that. If starting with triplets, just your eighth note triplets at 60 beats per minute, do that. It's on the third exercise there. One last thing I want to mention. It seemed to help one student. Kind of something that I used to just kind of fiddle around with, and it kind of like a warm-up thing that I do from time to time if I want to get my right hand going, or right arm really, is just pick. Just anywhere you want to. Just start picking quick. Do it until you get fatigued. Shake it out, and then just maybe do a couple sets of that. And that's a good warm-up thing. You could also do it with chords. It's much more challenging because you're going across two strings, and I was actually thinking about trying that as a kind of a right hand exercise. It's just like increasing the amount of strings you're trying to tremolo pick over. So even like 3 strings is even more of a challenge. Just doing things like that just to get your hand just used to going back and forth real quick, and kind of doing some endurance stuff like that. And actually, I think in the book that you got there, I talked about an exercise that I did where I would set a timer and just pick as fast as I can for a determined amount of time, and then do some where the left hand is doing hammer-ons and pull-offs for the same amount. I kind of go back and forth while gradually increasing it with time. But we can talk about that on another time. I don't want to give too much info right now because then it could be overkill. So, 3 exercises. Let me put in the calendar. Let me put that in here now. So 3:30 my time, 5:30 yours on Wednesday the 6th. We'll meet again on Skype and see how you're doing. And that was going to be a short amount of time from today until then. So just I invite you to be patient with yourself. And, any progress is progress. Even 1 beat per minute increase is still an increase. So, it's always a good thing. All right, let me know if you got any questions, and I will see you Wednesday.